welcome to Fun New Fridays. I'm Lorene, here's your host, and let's get out there and get sharing, my friends. So, let's share across to here. Yes. Love it. And let us share to a group. Let's share us to all the groups, shall we? Yes, because it's always fun when we do that. Okay. Let me just get rid of that piece for now because I know that the groups can sometimes be a little bit funny. Like that. All right. Okay, and that one, and let's jump across here. And that up. Beautiful. Okay. One that I did the other one. Good. Hello. Hi, Lisa. How you going? I'm really good. Oh, goodness. Got a bit of a eyeball moment. I'm so happy you're here. Stick around. You might get a little free reading. And right here, there was one other thing that we required to do. Just jump into that. And okay, and then up to the top. Fabulous. Righty-ho. Jump back over here. And hop into the Fun Day Fridays community so I can make sure I can see everybody and what you're saying, because that's always important to me. I don't need to watch that. All right, cool. Awesome. How's your week been, my sweets? How has it been? Had a week of needing to sleep. Oh, crackly. Thank you for letting me know. Audio. That's why. Ooh. That should work now. Thank you for letting me know, Lisa. I had in all of the moving and everything, the microphone got a little bit disconnected there. So that's all right. There we go. All sorted. Yeah, it's been a big week of interesting energies, hasn't it? It's certainly been full on, and I know I've been really wishing to sleep too, but not being able to do a lot of it. So it's been a really interesting one. So, of course, let me grab that banner and tuck that across the bottom.
If you wish to have an extended reading, of course, you can donate to the PayPal. And this, I am thinking, is this the last week of the month? Not quite. We've got one more week after this. And then we'll be able to tally up our donations. So that's exciting, isn't it? All right. So hopefully the sound is better now, Lisa. Can you just confirm that that is the case, that everything is okay and it's working all right? Just let me know. Should be okay, but okay, so I might just turn that up just a little bit. Helps turn it the right way. Okay. I normally have my microphone on the other side, so it's a little bit further away from the clicking, because we know that the clicking of a mouse is a little bit annoying sometimes. So happy days. All right, so welcome. We are in the sort of new space. I say sort of. We've got some tweaking to do. Obviously, there's not nearly enough fairy lights for me just yet. But at the moment, this space is beautiful. It's got an absolutely lovely energy to it. Lots of Reiki magic in here and lots of other awesome crystals and all sorts of cool things. So how does it get any better than that? So this week for our weekly reading, let's have a look and see which cards which to come out to play. And of course, we know that all the stuff with the nodes has changed over. We've had some really interesting things happening. That's really loud. Oh, I know who that is. Thank you. So so we've got Aries is in the north node now, and Libra is in the south. And interestingly for me, mine are the opposite way around. So my personal nodes, my north and my south, my north node is actually Libra and my south is Aries. So this next 18 months is likely to be really, really interesting for me. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. It's certainly proving to be interesting so far. Lots of big, yummy, delicious things have happened in my world, and as you can see and feel around me, if you're perceptive enough to feel that. Hi, Sandra. All right, so let's have a play with the cards and just see how we can best. Thank you, Lisa. I will get to you just after we've done this weekly reading for everybody, and you'll be first cab off the rank. So I'm very grateful for you. Thank you so much. So let us ask the question of how can we best work with all of these energies now that they've all switched over and changed around for this next week, being from the 22nd of July through to the 28th of July. So we've got some really interesting cards that have come out. So this one actually came out when I was asking from my, what is it called? Practical Magic deck, what we can work with as a collective, like what message for the collective was coming through. The card that came out was the Lilac Magic card here, which was true to you. Okay, so this card here is all about being true to yourself and using those beautiful lilac colors to come back to your heart space and to be in the space of being empowered within. So it's about making sure that you're not scattering yourself over too many people and taking on other people's points of views and stuff. It's all about coming back to center. So let's have a look and see what the other cards are sort of saying along those same themes for this week coming, of how we can best work with all of these different nodes coming through, the big shift that's happened with that. And, you know, just there's been a lot of people that have been very, very tired. There's been a lot more temperamental people in the world. I'm thinking also there was, you know, over in New Zealand, there has been some pretty harsh incidents that's happened, and up in Auckland there this week, which is like, my heart goes out to those people that have been affected by that. There was also somebody who passed away in their car just a couple of streets over from my other home this week, which I drove past that scene on Thursday. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things in death, and not only physical death, but the little deaths that are happening within us a lot right now. So it's very fascinating to see that the very first card that's come up is to heal away addictions. So it's time to let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desire. And this very, very much is in alignment with all of these energies that are coming up at the moment. So being aware of what energies you are actually addicted to. So I was reminded this week of a client that I had, and she had suffered some knee injuries many years beforehand, and she was an older lady. And so I ran a body process on her, and it was really amazing. She had some pretty much immediate relief, and for the first 3 days after that, she had no trouble getting in and out of her car, had no trouble getting up the larger steps that they had going into their home. And I repeated the process a couple of weeks later. She had like a week and a half of relief, and then she didn't come back. But I knew her outside of the healing space, and it turned out that she was so addicted to having the pain, because it meant it gave her the excuse of asking her husband to do things for her, like getting down on his hands and knees to clean the oven, or to clean the bath, or scrub the bottom of the shower. But if she had no pain in her knees anymore, then she felt in her mind that she couldn't ask him to do those things. Yes, Melinda. Well, it's happening. I'm between the two houses at the moment. So yeah, this is what this card's all about. It's healing away your addiction. So what are you addicted to? Are you addicted to your pain? Are you addicted to it's like when we think addictions, we think of like alcohol or smoking or food or shopping or gambling, but there are other more subtle things that we can be addicted to. We can be addicted to constantly seeking approval from others rather than going within and knowing within that, yeah, I have done a great job. And it's not about big noting yourself. It's not about, you know, being egotistical or anything like that. It's about knowing within that you don't have to prove yourself to anybody other than you. So yeah. Are you addicted? Great suggestion there, Julie. Self-doubt. Are you addicted to self-doubt? Hi, Edwina. Hi, Julie. So have a look and be really, really brutally honest with yourself. What are you addicted to that's not necessarily falls under the category of like addiction? Self-judging. Yeah, that's a brilliant one, Lisa. Thank you. Oh, so many that come. It's all up in the monkey mind stuff, you know. It's quite fascinating, I find, when we start looking at the addictions of the mind rather than, what substances or things like that. I'm addicted to tea. What can I say? I love my tea. The next card that we've got for this week of how we can best work with these energies is manifestation power. So use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. So what is your desired outcome for this next week? What space and places would you like to go to this week that perhaps you haven't considered before? Do you wake up in the morning and go, today's going to be a great day? Or do you wake up in the morning going, oh my God, I hate my life? Because here's the thing with that. Our words are very, very powerful. And especially at the moment, at this period of time, and what I mean by this period of time, I'm talking about this year to 2 to 5 years, is very, very potent. And when we speak negatively of ourselves, of our bodies, of our environment, of our work, of our friends, our family, what happens is we are constantly recreating that. So if you wish to change things, if you wish to have a different outcome, you're going to have to change your words. If you wish to have an easier time with your body, whether it be releasing excess weight, whether it be gaining weight, whether it be having better eyesight, whether it be, having better movement, whatever it is, you're going to have to start changing how you speak about your body. And then things will start moving in a different direction because your body will naturally change to respond to your words. Same with your work. If you are constantly feeling like, oh my God, this job is so draining, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get a draining job. But if you approach your work from that space of, I wonder what fabulous things we can create today. I wonder what magic we can create today. I wonder what adventure I'm going to have today. I wonder who I'm going to help today that I haven't helped before. Suddenly things feel quite different. And I know a lot of people would sort of go, oh yeah, but you don't deal with blah, blah, blah. No, I deal with people all day, every day. I deal with people I know. I deal with people I don't know. And my job is a cleaner right now. And a lot of people have opinions about that too. They have a lot of judgments about that. A lot of people see cleaning as being quite a lowly job. I don't. I love it because it keeps my body moving, right? But I could wake up every morning and go, oh my God, I've got to go to clean somebody else's fucking toilet today. I don't want to clean toilets. But at the end of the day, what I'm doing is I'm helping people. And that's one of my highest values, is being able to help people. And there's that connection that is also really high on my values. So I'm like, oh, I wonder who I can see today. I wonder who's different today. I wonder what's going to happen with them today. I wonder what conversations I'm going to have today. And I'm grateful because it keeps my body moving, right? I don't like gyms. I don't like them. And I'm not a huge fan of the pool. I don't like the chlorine, right? So this is the absolute best solution for me right now. And I love to drive. I love being kind of my own boss as such, without having to have all of the complications of being your own boss. It's awesome. The next card that we've got is listen to your intuitive feelings. Your intuition is going to be ramping up hugely, especially with all these changes that have happened with the nodes. You're going to find yourself having spotlights on areas that are no longer serving you, and they're going to get really loud, and they're going to be in your face, and they're going to make you feel uncomfortable. And if you try and push them down and push them away, push all those awarenesses away, you're gonna have some hard times coming up this week. So my suggestion of what we've got coming up is, please listen, honor those intuitive feelings, even if it's just, thank you, I acknowledge you. Thank you for that awareness, I acknowledge it. Thank you for allowing me to see that. In that moment, you just might find things will shift. It's really important to follow that. The next one is being aware of what you're eating. Okay, so we've got vegan vegetarianism. Fresh fruits and vegetables give you a boost of high life force energy, which elevates your spiritual frequency. So remember to eat in season. All right, so given that we're in the Southern Hemisphere at the moment, where I am, and most of you guys are all in the Southern Hemisphere, please eat those oranges, eat those mandarins, eat the things that are fresh at the moment, because your body is requiring it. Try to eat in season rather than out of season fruits that you get through the supermarket. If you can get them from a farmer's market or something like that, then even better. If you can sort of, avoid the supermarkets, that's awesome. If you can't, that's cool, but just be more aware of what you're eating and where it's sourced from, how it has been grown. Organic obviously is better. However, this is something that came up when I listened to a podcast on Turns Out She's a Witch, and they were talking to the beautiful lady who has Wild Me and distributes and also grows. So she distributes Palo Santo and sandalwood, and they grow white sage, and they grow a few things. And she said something that just made me go, well, of course. You can't call yourself organic and still water your plants using town water supply. So if your food feels like, if you're using your intuition and you're feeling the food and it says organic on it, and then it feels weird, like there's a hidden lie, like a wonk to the energy, ask the question, has this plant been watered with town water supply? Because if it has, then that plant has absorbed those chemicals that are in our town water supply and gone up through into the fruit and the vegetables. Something interesting to think about, right? So yes, using the energies, being true to you, come back to heart, be aware of what you are choosing to manifest in this next week, and keep your focus on that. Keep your focus on the lightness, the brightness, what you are requiring to achieve for this week, for perhaps your longer term goals or for the end of the year. Because we're chalking on through July now. So we've only got 5 months and 1 week to go until the end of the year. So yes, very, very interesting things happening up in the world. So I hope that helps everybody. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of this week to come. It's pretty exciting, actually. All right. So Lisa, thank you so much for choosing a session, an extended reading. I'd love to know, what is it that you would like me to have a quick look at today? Do you have any questions? Do you have anything specific you'd like me to have a look at? Just pop it in the chat if you could, please, my dear. Okay. Amazing. PayPal's being kind. We are drinking Bengal spice tea. Because I'm feeling a bit spicy tonight in the new space. So yes, coming up in the coming weeks, we will have more fairy lights and things like that coming through. But just at the moment, we've got an in-betweeny time because of traipsing things backwards and forwards, and you know, it's a fun time right now. Hi, darling. How are you? How are you, Catherine? Lovely, lovely, lovely to have you with us. Okay, Lisa, let's have a look. Child has transitioned into a woman, and I'm feeling really hanging on to me. Not willing to really grow up right now. Being judged for leaving her to go to a trip, but it feels tough love is required. Anything on this? Wow, cool. Okay. Can you? A trans woman. Ah. Interesting. Can you please tell me how old is she? Interesting. 18. Okay, thank you, Lisa. Sorry, we're on the big deck of tarot, animal tarot cards. So I wish to have a little bit more depth with this one. So Lisa, ooh. It is a very big choice to make that transition. And it's interesting because I've actually, in my work, and even my current work actually, I have had a lot of conversations with trans women. And one is newish, about 5 years past. The other one had transitioned about 20 years previous. And both of them are well into their adulthood before they've done so. At 18, I can perceive that there's a lot of insecurity around her, within her. And yes, she is relying on you a lot right now. But at the same token, I'm feeling that there's the heat of anger there. And what I'm feeling at the present moment, just looking into those energies, is the heat of the anger is being forced at you because you're her safe place. So the anger can come out in all sorts of ways. It can come out as ingratitude. It can come out in all sorts of ways. Yes, Melinda, hormones is a part of it. It's also bringing up a lot of the hurt spaces from within her, of within all of her life. And that some of it's to do with you guys as parents, some of it's to do with society, some of it's to do with her peers, some of it's to do with the anger she feels within of being born in the wrong body. So yeah, it's definitely, she's still developing mentally as well. Like her brain is still not yet developed fully, and that is also creating a really vast rawness for all of this potency to come out, right? So I guess is one way to, one of the words that was, or phrases that was coming into my head as I was pulling these cards was, well, if she's old enough to, make this choice, she's old enough to stand on her own 2 feet. That's big. All right. It's that tough love thing coming through. And what if that doesn't necessarily have to be the case either? Has she got some support groups that she can reach out to? Because they will provide specialized help and mental, physical, emotional support that you just can't do because you've not done this process. You can be there for her as her mom, but at the end of the day, this is so specialized. It's something that it's so difficult to comprehend if you've not done it, So I would, first of all, from a practicality point of view, say to her, listen, sweetie, I love you. And I appreciate you. But this is out of my wheelhouse, and I'm here for you, and I will happily support you and speak with you and all of that sort of stuff. But, and this is the but, and that doesn't wipe out everything that I've just said. The but is because, or if you wish to say, however, you require specialist support that I can't give you. So let's have a look together for some groups that are in your area that are going to help you, that you can go and enjoy company with. And, because the trans community is a beautiful community. It's just, she's got to be willing to go and find it so she doesn't feel so all alone. Because some of that is still the testosterone side coming through of, gotta tough it out and do it by myself. But no, she doesn't. So let's have a look at these cards. So this is about you, Lisa. So to start off with, we've got the 7 of Spring, which is the gecko. How cute is that? So this is, it's okay if it doesn't matter if it's in her age group, because there are people who have transitioned throughout all stages of ages. Like I was saying before, like the 2 women that I've had most recent contact with, one was only 5 years ago, the other one was like 20 years ago. And both of those women have incredible awareness, guidance around all of the ins and outs of what is required, what you're going to go through, the emotional stuff, the physical stuff. So just because it's not her age group doesn't mean that it won't be valuable to her. Think about what it was like when we were growing up and we got to hang out with our grandparents, right? And we learned so much from our grandparents. This is the same sort of thing. It's that intergenerational guidance that can happen within this very specialized area. So the gecko for you, Lisa, is be assertive, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone else take away your personal power. Trust your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. So again, this is also tying back into our original card from the Practical Magic deck. You have to be true to you. You know what is going to create the best, the most, create the most in the long term. You've got the skills, you've got the tools, you know what questions to ask, you know how to use those tools, those light and heavy tools, your awareness. So I would be making sure, number one, that you're not in judgment. And that can be societal judgment, you know, those lovely little refined judgments that can just niggle away and be quite destructive. Be very mindful of being in refined judgment. So one of the things that I would be encouraging you to do is ask those questions, truth. What will it create if I say this? Truth, what will it create in 100 years if I say this? Truth, what will it create in 100 years if I don't say this? Truth, what will it create in 100 years if I go away on my trip? Truth, what will it create in 100 years if I don't go away on this trip? Truth, what will it create in 100 years if I choose tough love? Truth, what will it create in 100 years if I don't choose tough love? Truth, what will it create if I approach her from a space of unconditional love? What would that look like? Truth, what would that feel like? We've got to put that truth on the front, because otherwise refined judgment will slip in and fuck up your awareness. Okay? And the other thing that I noticed with that Gecko card, which seemed to be quite loud, was just being aware of where she might be sucking away your personal power. So do that cord cutting with her, do the, destroying and uncreating relationships, or whatever version of that each night, so that you can start fresh with her the next day, so that your energy isn't being pulled away from you all the time, because that's what she's doing. She's looking for support. She's looking for those reference points, but she's pulling your energy while she's doing that. And that's what's making you tired and cranky, and then you're not able to approach her from that space of unconditional love with as much ease. Okay. The next card for you, this is to do with your trip. This is the sense that I'm getting with this, your trip. We've got the Sun card, which is the Bluebird. Okay. Yeah, she's pulling your energy heaps. So the other one that you can do with that is also to just flow truck tons of unconditional love through her. And because unconditional love's all around us, right? So you can just go, and if she's bringing judgment to you, just pull it through you, go the other way, and allow it to energize your body rather than bringing you down and making you contract. And because the contracting is what's the exhausting part. So you're going to love this card. Your plans will work out well, bringing you happiness, prosperity, and success. You'll garner the recognition for your accomplishments you so richly deserve. So I'd say go on your trip. If that's what you're after and that's what you're desiring to do, the cards are saying go for it. The card, which is now on the floor, just went for a flying trip. So there we go. All right, and the next card that we've got for you is Princess of Spring. Isn't this so pretty? Okay, so this is sort of the more futurish card. So it's about the monarch butterfly, which is creative opportunities that you feel passionate about are fluttering your way. Personal growth and broadened horizons will spark fresh and original ideas. So certainly going on this trip is going to create a lot of space for you. And I actually get it's going to create something for your daughter as well. And she is, there's an inspiration moment that's happening. She doesn't quite comprehend it yet, and she won't for many years. She won't appreciate what you're choosing right now, because at the moment she's all me, right? So set her up, making sure that you connect in with her often, making sure that you send her shit tons of love and all that sort of stuff. Unconditional love. So love with no boundaries, no rules, no obligations, just nothing attached to it. Just flow it through from the universe. And then choose for you. Choose for you. Okay? So I wish I had my yummy cards. They're not here. They're still packed up in a box, getting rejuvenated with the yummy smells. So let me see. What card can we give you from which deck? Ah, okay. Cool. Okay, so your final card is Coral, which is allow flow and synchronicity into your life. So stop fighting the flow, allow it to flow in, and just be you. Be bold, be brave, be you. Allow that to be the inspiration for you both. Okay? You got this. You got this. And so does she. And like I said, she's not really gonna appreciate what you're doing right now. But it will come in time. And it's gonna be years down the track before she really gets it. But when she does, she will. And she'll say to you, you know that time when I was just so all about me and I was all up in my head, and I felt like you were the worst mum in the world because I'm going through this thing and you've decided to take a big trip and blah 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 blah. Well, what it did was it created space for me to choose something else and to be able to lean on support that was actually more suited for me. And oh wow, I met this person and this person and this person and this person. That's the sense that I'm getting with this. Yeah. So I hope that helps, my dear. Thank you so much for choosing a extended reading with me, Lisa. I hope you're having a beautiful night and you have an absolutely lovely weekend. I appreciate it. Is what is it coming up, 9, 10, 11, 11:30 over there. So I appreciate you very, very much. And thank you, Lisa. You are the bomb. My pleasure. My absolute pleasure, my dear. Alrighty, Melinda, my love. Well, this little one's a very happy little one now. All right, let me just grab that card that fell on the floor. There we go. You got to see a bit more of what's behind me. Isn't that cool? Singing bowls, chakra bowls. Isn't that cool? All right, Melinda, you said a general reading, yeah? Interesting. Apparently, you wish to have this deck today. I wonder what. I wonder who. Is there anything in particular, Melinda, that you want me to have a look at? Yeah, because this is not technically my room, I'm sharing space. I haven't yet played with them because I haven't asked, but I have been reassured that if I wished to, I could. But you know, I have a deep respect for other people's things, especially in a healing space. It's like I would get a little bit annoyed if somebody just came into my healing room and just went and just played with everything. So I'm very very aware of that. And so I certainly wouldn't be playing with any of the things without the owners being present. But yeah, they make for a pretty background though. Okay. Oh, your team. I love playing with your team. They're just cool. They're just so warm and squishy. I love your team, Melinda. It is. It's very lovely, and it's going to be even better with some fairy lights. Can't help it. I'm lucky that the person who has this space, who owns this space, is like more than on board with fairy lights. So, Melinda, interesting. Do you take any magnesium powder as a supplement? Because interestingly, I'm getting that lower back stuff and a little bit of funkiness in your shoulder, your upper shoulder area here, which is my left-hand side, if you're wondering. And so I was just, interestingly, I was at a friend's house today who has had a lot of back issues, and she recommended that Ultra Muscles, which is an advanced magnesium blend, and it provides a readily bioavailable form of magnesium, a specialized blend of amino acid chelates called Ultra Magnesium, supports energy levels, relieves tiredness, fatigue, and aids in the relief of muscular cramps, mild spasms associated with inadequate magnesium intake. So it contains a comprehensive range of nutrients, including B group vitamins, to support a healthy stress response. So I was just guided to tell you about that. If you wish to know about that, I can send you the picture of it, because I took it for my friend who also has some back stuff going on. So the reason why I mentioned that is because she said she takes that and has, within 20 minutes, she's got relief from all spasms and things like that. just after this, send me a message. All right. Okay, team. We're working with the Starseed Oracle for you. So I have to sort of slip into a slightly different place in space. Like your team is just nicely stretching me at the moment, which is lovely. I enjoy that. But yeah, I was like just being aware that your back is a little bit funky, and that you might require a little bit of extra support, being aware of that over this next week. Okay. So the next one we've got, well, the first card that we've got for you, I don't know if we're going to be able to see this one. Here we go. Okay. So this is the Seas of Mintaka. Seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. So your creativity, if we're looking at the body aches and pains and how they are translating to the chakra, your sacral chakra is certainly being activated a lot right now. So this is to do with your passions in life, and it is time to reawaken your passions. We've spoken about this before, I know. And your potential for what you choose to put your energy into is calling for you to be a little bit more refined and pragmatic about where that energy is going. There's going to be, as it says, bringing unconsciousness to light. So there's going to be some moments where over this next week or so where it's going to get really uncomfortable and you might get a bit angry and frustrated. And it's really important for you to ask about that energy that is coming up. Okay, pause, allow yourself to breathe, walk away if you have to, say you need to go to the toilet or whatever you have to do to create some space, and then talk to that energy, talk with that energy and find out what is it that it's actually trying to tell you, because it's probably got nothing at all to do with the other people in the room. Okay, it's something that's coming up within you to be looked at, to be healed, to be cleared, so that you can open up that potential space for more creativity and your passions and your desires for what you really truly wish to create. Every single choice that we make is either moving us towards our desires or away from. And when we start moving away from, that's when the anger, the frustration, all that sort of stuff will start coming up to give you a bit of a course correction, send you back in the right way. But it can feel a bit uncomfortable. Whew. The next card that we've got for you is about the activated earth, power places, ley lines, and trust where you're led. So it's time for you to dive into more of tapping into the earth, and finding those places that are the ley lines sit on. We have quite a few here through Adelaide, I know, and they feel really different. There's a lot of crystalline structures up in the hills that are fun to play with, and also, wow, I get you know where to go. They're telling me she knows where to go. She's just not chosen to go there lately. Wherever that place is for you, that you know gives you that level of, like, I don't know if you've watched Outlander or any of those sort of witchy type shows where they have the grouping of the stones, where there is literal like portal type, but not spirits and demons and shit coming through. It's about energy flows. So those ley line moments, those ley line points, your body is asking for some rejuvenation from them. And there's certainly something in them that is your body is asking for. It's like it's when we take supplements, interestingly, it's because our body is craving or missing something. This is what part of your energy stuff is. Okay, all that lacking of energy, the tiredness, the exhaustion, it's your body's craving some contribution from these energy ley lines. Okay. The next one that we've got here for you is I'm sorry. And this is defenselessness, righting past wrongs, and uprooting. So one of the hardest people it is to forgive is ourselves. And when we are in a position that you kind of sit back and you go, fuck, is this all there is? Is this where my life has come to? And then you start beating up on yourself, or you're allowing other people's words to sink a little bit too deeply. This is the moment when we have to come back to doing like that inner child work and, looking at where can we forgive ourselves for all of the choices that we feel that we can judge ourselves for. It's like, I'm not perfect. Not by any stretch of the imagination. I have made lots and lots of choices that I could go into blame, shame, regret, and guilt about. But one of the things that has come through really loud and clear, especially in the last couple of weeks, has been about every single choice that you have created and made has added to your experience of this lifetime. So along with forgiving yourself, it's also about finding that gratitude for every choice, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome choices, because they gave you awarenesses. They gave you an awareness of what to choose or not to choose in the future. So stop beating yourself up because it's not necessary. All that's doing is pulling you down and making you hurt inside. And your team saying, we need to ramp up the love. This is why when they came through, they were just so full of love and squishiness and all. Because it was like, they were just showing, it was like, they just beamed on through. And it's like, this is the energy we wish to contribute to you today. This is not to me, but to you, Melinda. This is the energy we wish to communicate to her. Okay? The next card that we've got for you, my dear, is Earthed. And I know that you very much feel this way. And it says, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. There's that point of going, I don't feel like I fit in. And no, you don't. You don't. Neither do I. Neither do the majority of my most nearest and dearest friends. None of us fit in to this reality, into this world. And that's a bloody good thing, because The work that we have to do out here, in here, around here, requires us to not be of this world, because our vibration is different. Our space of being able to see and work with bodies is different. To be able to see and work with energies is different. Exactly. Alienish, sort of. And just know that every single day that you are functioning in this world and you're being true to you, true to yourself, you're doing the work that you're meant to be doing. But every day that you don't choose that, every day you try to be the same as other people, try to fit in, try to be the good girl, the one that doesn't create ripples and waves, that's not being true to you. Might seem like it's healthy, but it's not. So let me just see which other card wishes to come forward for you. Okay, I'm going to go back to this one. Interesting. And hi, Judy. James, Jan, Van Fossen. Double barrel, triple barrel names. That's a really, really cool name. I love it. I completely brutalized it. I'm sorry, Judy. We are in a really magical time right now, Melinda. And there's no need to feel fear anymore. No need. Because what you got, beautiful card, is express your hidden feelings and celebrate your light. I think that's why I like my volunteer work at the Food Bank Hub. It gives me so many different humans coming through each time I am there, human emotions. Yeah. And you get to practice being the lightness and showing them a different possibility. You know, I'm not sure if you get to interact with the customers as such, the clients coming through. But every single person that you get to connect with, even if it's just in a smile, you're bringing a lightness to them that they are seeking. Because when people have to go through the food bank, there's a lot of stuff going on for them. A lot of that blame, shame, anger, regret, guilt. You know, there's so much. And the pride has been probably, they feel like their pride is just, they're just the worst thing in the world, like they failed. They probably feel like a bit of a failure because they're not able to provide for themselves or their family properly. There's just a lot, right? And if you can make them feel like just for a moment that they are not being judged, they are not being seen as less than, and even everything that you touch, if you, and I know this is what you're doing, everything you touch is having that same energy attached to it, you can know that the people, whoever receives the things that you've touched, you've changed the energy, the molecular structure of those things, and you're giving that person some lightness. That's a beautiful, beautiful gift. Cool. Yeah. Exactly. Empathy and compassion. And also be really mindful that you're not taking it on. So make sure you do your cord cutting, or you're destroying and uncreating relationship as they walk out the door. it's like I send you off with love. I send you off with love. You can even do it that way, and just and away they go. They're wrapped up. You can wrap them up in a little bow of love if you like, so then they can feel that and keep walking with that as they move through the door and into the rest of their day. What a beautiful, beautiful thing you do, my dear. Truly, truly. We really, truly do require more of that in the world. And if we did have more of that in the world, gosh, wouldn't the world be a nicer place to live? So super nice. Good work. Yeah, don't be the bad mood sponge. So thank you again, Melinda, for choosing a session today. I very much appreciate it. I'm so grateful for you. Now let's just double check to see if anybody else has donated this evening. I haven't heard any ding-a-dongs, but sometimes my emails can be a little bit sluggish. So cool bananas. All right. Let's have a little drink of my tea. All right. Cool. Let us do our poetry book readings. So, of course, came and triggered you, recognize it. Oh, good work. The other thing is, it's sometimes the triggering you can be a gift in and of itself. So don't resist it. Pull the energy straight through you. Send it out to the universe. Okay. Yes, you can send it back with consciousness attached, and you can choose which way is actually going to create more for them and for you, because that triggering moment is actually probably more of an activation moment where you can look at, okay, why did that bring up stuff in me, and what is it that I'm ready to let go of now? So that was something that was coming through in that reading, right? Where you can look at it and go, oh, that's interesting. And you can just sort of pin it. You can put it in a little notebook or something and go, yes, I acknowledge you. I see you. And now we will look at that later when I'm not at work. So thank you so much. We will come back to that. So that will just sort of pin that energy off to the side and allow you the space to continue to grow with that. Hey, do you know what is awesome? The internet here is really awesome. Just want to acknowledge that for a sec. How did I get so lucky? Oh my goodness. All right, so let us do the gratitude book reading. So those of you who've been here for a while, you know the first number that pops into your head between 1 and 88. Put it in the chat now. See who wishes to have a free quickie. Oh dear. So yes, it's been really lovely tonight to not have the buffering. It's been really lovely to not have my screen go and go, okay. So yes, I'm very grateful for good internet. Thank you, Melinda. First person to set us off. That's right, my friends. First number that pops up between 1 and 88. 23. All right, so we got Sweet M. You bring sunshine to my tears and laughter to my mouth. You are one of the few who will stay in my heart and stay who will stay with my heart and memory always. So, Melinda, my sweet, just keep bringing that love through. Keep being that space of unconditional love and enjoy what you're doing, because quite clearly your team wishes you to know that you're surrounded by love and that you are to keep using that energy. And that is what this poem's all about. It's about being surrounded by and feeling that love and that unconditional love, and bringing that energy up through from Mother Earth and down through from Father Sky, because, yeah, wow. That's going to contribute a lot to you right now. Okay? All right, Catherine, 63. You're welcome, Melinda. Okay, Catherine. This is a poem called You and Me. We are united, you and me, not always happy, you and me, but we sure do try, you and me. So sad when we are apart, you and me. I don't quite know what to do without you and me. Love isn't always easy with you and me. Other things interfere with you and me. Just wish we could be just you and me. Living peacefully, you and me. Loving each other, you and me. Eternally just you and me. This particular one for you today is about your relationship with you. And it is indicating that you've been a bit harsh with yourself. And it is a learned thing. So if we can learn to be really harsh and judgmental and hard on ourselves, we can learn to do the opposite. Okay? So I very much encourage you to be very mindful of your words, your thoughts, of how you're approaching your body. And when you make a mistake, how do you speak about yourself? How do you think about yourself? Do you really degrade yourself a lot? Do you put yourself down as a joke? Because it's not okay. It's not okay. Sometimes I come from a culture of we use humor to try and soften hard stuff. And sometimes that humor is done in a way that is actually not very doesn't actually create more. So give yourself some kindness. Please give yourself some compassion. Be aware of where you might be sliding into a little bit of gaslighting narcissism with yourself. And if that's sort of like making you go, the fuck is she talking about? Tell you a funny story. At the end of 2021, I was coming out of my final narcissistic relationship. I had chosen a lot over my life, from the parents I chose right through to a lot of the boyfriends and husbands, and if it wasn't the husband, it was some member of the family. There was a narcissistic workplaces, there was narcissistic workmates, there was a lot of narcissism in my world. And then I realized I hadn't asked the question of, if everything is a mirror of, because what's the common denominator here? It's me. So I had to ask myself and be really brutally honest with myself as to, where am I choosing to be narcissistic in my own life? How am I doing that? How am I bringing that in? And I asked myself, truth, am I being narcissistic with other people? It was no. And I was like, well, if I'm not being narcissistic with other people, where am I being that? Why am I bringing this energy in? Because the thing is, if you're not being narcissistic in any way, shape, or form, then you won't welcome it in because it won't mirror you. Okay? So I had to look at that. And what I discovered was I was being incredibly narcissistic with my money and narcissistic with my business. And that showed up in being very controlling around both things. It showed up with being in that space of judging it for not showing up how I thought it should show up, and judging it for when it moved with its natural flow. So that was how that energy was coming through in my life. And that's why I kept attracting these people to a lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser degree as I continued on my healing journey. But it was still there. So I had to take that moment of going, I'm not choosing that anymore. And I deeply, deeply apologized to all of my bank accounts, all the places where my money is stored, my super account, my, all those things. I apologized to every single one of those things. And then I was like, and the ATO and all of that sort of stuff. I apologized to all of it. I apologized, obviously, to my business. I was in tears as I did this because I was like, I can't believe I've been such an absolute bitch to these elements that contribute so much to my life. And that was the stopping point. That was the breaking point for the narcissism being in my life. And there was a lot of things that shifted and changed after that. So I'm going to ask you to really dig deep and find out where you are not being kind to you, your body, your being, maybe the things around you, because that's what's coming up in this poem for you. Okay? I hope you have a beautiful weekend, Catherine, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Judy. Number 4. Oh, dear. This poem is one of my very early poems, actually. It would be 7 years old. All right. Grandmothers. Grandmothers are the role models for their grandchildren. They teach the children their knowledge and skills. They don't have to be the ones to discipline the children, but just have the job of giving lots of love. The things which they teach their grandchildren will stay with them always, from that little piece of advice to how to lick a plate in style. The wonderful thing about grandmothers is that they can be so different. One might stay home and bake while the other might be out running a marathon. Grandchildren just as much. The love from one grandmother can never be compared. It is unique and will remain that way forever. Congratulations on being a grandmother. And I get the sense, yeah, I have 8 grandchildren and am a fun one. I love that. So this poem is very much a celebration of you. It's a celebration of everything that you be as a grandmother, and to keep right on being that, because the things, the energy, the sparkles, the gift that you be with being a grandmother is going to be really long lasting. And I just see you say you have your 6-year-old grandson living with you at the moment. Awesome. What a beautiful gift that you're giving him right now. And it's not always easy. I've seen other grandparents go through that journey of having the grandchildren there, and it can sometimes feel a little bit like hard because you're dealing with a whole different world compared to what your children grew up in. So keep giving him the structure, give him the guidance, be the awesome grandma that you are. And yeah, it'll all work out. It will. Might be a bit bumpy for a while. And when he hits his teens and stuff like that, if he's still with you guys in his teens, then that might get a little bit bumpy too. But the other thing with that is just be really aware of, and this is just coming through, of where he might be feeling a little bit abandoned. He might have some really deep down feelings of abandonment and rejection. So if you've got some lovely healing tools at your disposal, you can have some really beautiful conversations with his higher self, and especially when he's sleeping, and just see how just check in with him to make sure that he's doing okay as far as all those abandonment and rejection issues goes. Because there's certainly a little bit of that energy floating through there. And at 6, he may not understand what that is. So you could have conscious conversations with him too. So yeah. Good. And he might be open to like doing energy healing with you. So I would highly recommend feeling him out, see where he's at, because a lot of the children coming through at the moment are very intuitive. They're very aware. They know energy, even if they don't understand it yet, or they understand it, but they don't understand it, right? So the children coming through and have been for the last probably 10 to 15 years have a deep understanding, and then they have slipped out of that. They've covered it up so that then they can fit in, and that's when the disconnect happens. So talk to him about, little things like doing some inner child work and that sort of stuff. Like talk to him about little him. How does little him feel about blah, blah, blah? Especially if he's having those moments where he's a little bit emotive. We can teach him breathing techniques. We can teach him ways to tap in to his inner knowing that is going to help him a lot in later years. So, gosh, he's so lucky to have you. So, so lucky. And at this age, wow, super cool. Super cool. And I send you lots and lots of love and healing as well, because I know that this is something that you probably never dreamed that you'd have to do again at that age. So I wish you absolute best. Absolute. Thank you so much for being here, Judy, and for sharing some of your life with us today. It's such an honor. Such an honor. Thank you. Edwina. Hello, Edwina. How has your week been? Hi, Nicole. How are you going, sweet pea? All right. Edwina, what can I say? This one's called Rendering Desire. Tense and wet, quivering with desire for someone I've never met. Reaching out with thoughts and words, feeling the reactions in every part of our bodies. Being our true selves because there is no judgment, no boredom or routine. Keeping our eyes and ears open, feeling the release of pretense, welcoming every sensation, being inspired elsewhere, wanting more than our minds connecting, the yearning of the physical, the reality of the present, and the desire to do more. Edwina. Interesting. This is not someone that you've met yet. Forgive me for not remembering if you're in a relationship right now or not, or if it's complicated. But whoever this person is that you are creating and manifesting into and actualizing into your life, they are someone who's going to just tick all the boxes. And they're going to fire you up in a way that you've never felt like this before. And it'll be unnerving. You'll be on quite heightened awareness of them and who and what they are and what they're doing, the energies that they're being at any particular moment. This is interesting because I don't really do future stuff so much, but you're calling this person in loudly, really loud. And your base chakra and your sacral chakra are working intensely to bring them in. So with that, what I'm going to ask you to do is to start bringing up that energy through to your heart space so your heart can know that person as well. Okay. And so when they do come into your life, that you will know in a heart-to-heart space who they are, what they're all about, and you'll just melt with them. And it'll be just like, seriously, I've got goosebumps on my goosebumps right now. So, Edwina, you are literally drawing them into your existence, painting them, if you like. You are the artist here. You are creating your life in a way that is very different right now. And that is a beautiful thing. So I just wish to acknowledge who you are and what you're doing and the gift that you're bringing to yourself right now. It's pretty amazing. Pretty gosh darn jolly gosh darn amazing and delicious and yummy and wet and Yes, the yearning right now, isn't it? It's like, alrighty. Excuse me. It's been a long week. So just before we go, I'm going to do a little meditation, as we love to do. And let's see where we're going to go today. Okay, cool. So what my team has just guided me to do is we're going to do a little process whereby you'll be calling back to you the parts and pieces of yourself which you've scattered around. Now, how much or how little of the parts and pieces of you that you gather to yourself is up to you. And what this will do is help you feel more true to you so that you're not tapping into other people's worlds when you're trying to figure out what means the most to you right now, what's true for you. And it will also help you to tap into your awareness with more confidence, more ease. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I'll just finish my cup of tea. Yeah, Edwina. Interesting. Your siren call is going out very loud. Now, I'm not saying that that siren call is going to be answered soon or in a long time. But it's loud. So just trust in that as well. All right, everybody, take a big deep breath in. And breathing out. Take another big deep breath in, bringing Mother Earth energy all the way up. And as you breathe out, bringing Father Sky energy all the way down. Mother Earth and unconditional love all the way up. And now Father Sky and gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Of course, we're going to expand out, as we always do. Expanding out our awareness beyond the room in a big bubble, up into the sky and down into the earth. Expanding out our awareness out beyond the size of the country that we're in, beyond the size of the planet, beyond the size of the solar system, beyond the size of the galaxies, beyond the size of the universes, and expanding out to as far as you desire to go. Beautiful. And now, as we come back to the body, without contracting down our awareness, we grab our sense of allowance, remembering that our allowance is the ability to perceive, know, be, and receive everything from no point of view. It takes you from being that little pebble at the bottom of a raging river of other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and expanding out to become the clouds above the raging river, just observing all those thoughts, feelings, and emotions as they float on by. You have no judgment about that. You have no point of view. You have no resistance or reaction to it. You just observe. Expanding out your allowance beyond the size of your body. Expanding out in a big bubble beyond the size of the room that you're in, the building that you're in. Up into the sky, down into the earth, expanding out beyond the country, beyond the planet. Oh, I just love when your guys' energies pass through me. It just feels so good. It uplifts me beautifully. And you, of course, can receive that from each other as well. So if you find yourself yawning throughout this expansion process, please know that you're probably tapping into the other people on this podcast who are also expanding out. That's the gift of this work. Expanding out your allowance beyond the size of the solar system, beyond the size of the galaxies, beyond the size of the universes, and now expanding out beyond your awareness. Beautiful. And now we're going to bring in a little bit of a tool from Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I've only just been newly playing with this tool, but I'm hearing that it's going to be quite useful for our process today. So what I would like you to do is, as you're breathing in, I'd like you to first focus on your base chakra and your perineum muscles. So they are the muscles in between the urethra and the anus. Okay? So there's a special set of muscles that sit in the middle of those two. So it's not about trying to stop yourself from peeing or stop yourself from pooing. It's about the muscles that sit in between that, your perineum muscles. I'd like you to, as you breathe in, tighten those muscles. And as you come to the top of your breath and hold, squeeze it really, really, really hard. And now slowly breathe out and relax those muscles down. We're going to do that a couple of times. So breathing in, squeezing those perineum muscles. Hold your breath at the top and hold. Squeeze it really, really, really tight. And let it go. And we'll do one more. Breathing in. Squeeze those muscles, the perineum. And when you get to the top, hold your breath and squeeze really tight. Bring those muscles really in. Beautiful. And then come back down. Relaxing those muscles. The next ones that I would like you to squeeze now is your lower tummy muscles, okay? So we keep the perineum relaxed now, and we're going to squeeze the low tummy muscles as we breathe in. And get to the top and give it an extra tight squeeze. And now relax down. Breathing in, squeeze those lower tummy muscles. And hold at the top and squeeze extra hard. And now release down. And once more, breathing in, squeeze those low tummy muscles. And hold at the top, give it extra tight squeeze. And release down. And finally, we're going to do the upper tummy muscles. Take a big deep breath in, squeeze those upper tummy muscles. And hold, extra tight squeeze. And release down. Breathing in and those upper tummy muscles. Hold and squeeze extra hard. And release down. And let's do it one more time. Breathing in, bringing those upper tummy muscles in. Up to the top, squeeze really, really hard. And releasing. This time, as you breathe in, I'd like you to, in sequence, tighten your base, your sacral, your lower tummy, and then your solar plexus. Okay? So you may have just done that as I've been saying them. So breathing in, bringing in the base chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra. As you breathe in, hold at the top, give them all a really tight squeeze. And now release them down. And again, breathing in, base, sacral, solar plexus. Hold, give it extra tight squeeze. And release. We're going to go again, one more time. Base, sacral, solar plexus. Breathing, keep breathing in. Hold at the top, extra tight squeeze. And releasing down. And now you can let your breathing return to normal as we continue on this process. And what we have just done there with these tightening of these different muscles is we are allowing this beautiful, beautiful gift of life in our spinal fluid to be pushed up from our base chakra through any blocks that we might have in those first 3 survival chakras, all the way back up to the pineal gland to be refreshed and renewed and return back down to the base chakra. This is a really important thing to do on a regular basis. You can do it anywhere, anytime. I did it the other day as I was cleaning. So I was literally vacuuming the floors and moving these muscles around. And as you move those muscles around and you're activating those energy centers, what happens is that you will slip out of being in survival mode and being in thrival mode. Okay? And that means that energy will be able to flow with so much more ease from Mother Earth all the way up through your body, through to your heart space, where when you're in your heart space, you'll be calmer, you'll be happier, you'll have less pain, you'll have a lot more ease with creating and manifesting your life because you won't have the blocks that are sitting in your first 3 survival chakra points. And now, as you relax into your body, I'd like to take you on a little journey. And that little journey is going to take you out through the cosmos. Imagine that you're floating out. And as you're floating around, you start to hear the voices or the tones of all of the little parts and pieces of you that are scattered around the universe. I would like you now to imagine that you are receiving those tones, the music, the calling of those scattered parts and pieces of you. Become the receiving point, become the tuning fork for those parts and pieces. And as you become the tuning fork, you magnetize and activate the magnetizing of those parts and pieces to attract them back to you. Beautiful words of I don't chase, I attract. So as you become the ultimate chord of your life, as you tap into your higher self and bring those tones to you, you can perceive all of those little fragments coming back through to you, the ones that have been hidden in other people, all the pieces that you've left at workplaces or in cars or at the shops or every transaction that you have made in your life. They are all returning to you now as you float out there in the cosmos, humming those beautiful tones. And as each piece comes back to you, you just feel more and more at peace. As every little fragment comes to you, you feel more complete within yourself. You may even get a sense that some of these fragments are coming from other lifetimes, dimensions, realities, and non-realities, and that's totally okay. Just receive them all, trusting that they've been cleansed and cleared before they've returned to you. You may feel like you're growing in your space, but in reality, what's happening is you're actually becoming complete within yourself. So you no longer have to create extra space for all of these fragments that have been scattered around the universe. You no longer have to protect yourself from the people that you perceive may be trying to draw those parts and pieces away from you. All those times you've said in any lifetime, dimension, reality or non-reality, that you've said, I'll love you forever. And then the next lifetime they turned out to be a complete and utter wanker, a horrible, nasty person, and you went, I would never, ever love that person ever in a million years. But I'm strangely attracted to them and I don't know why. All those fragments, you're calling back to you now. Releasing those people from your world as well. And if in doing this you perceive that there's fragments that you have that are not yours, you can now release them back to their owners as well. Please do that now, where they'll be cleansed and cleared and returned to their owners. Like a sonic boom, just go poof and send them back. Return them to their owners. And this can happen at exactly the same time as any of those little fragments are coming back to you. Take a really big deep breath in now. And as you breathe out, floating back down out of the cosmos, all the way back through to your body. Where you gently feel your feet on the ground. I'd like you to now put your hand on your heart. Feel it beating. Perceive the gift of life of your breath. The knowledge that your heart has heart intelligence. Your heart is literally the thing that beats first. Before your brain, before any other organ in your body. Your heart is the one that has its very own intelligence. And it is time now to trust that. Please bring in a nice big breath all the way up from the center of Mother Earth and just feel how different your body feels now. And as you breathe out, bring that gratitude for everything and everyone from Father Sky all the way down. Bring Mother Earth energy all the way up with that unconditional love. That sparkly opalescent light all the way up through your body. And as you breathe out, bring Father Sky energy all the way down. And for those of you who play with the elementals, they're asking to be acknowledged today too. So Welcome, beautiful elemental friends. Thank you for contributing to this healing and this wealth of energy. We are so grateful for you too. And so it is. When you're ready, open your eyes, my loves. Please make sure you drink plenty of water. I know it's night time, but at least have a glass after this lovely healing session that we've just had. And I certainly look forward to next week. Who knows what my background will look like next week? It could look completely different. Well, no, it won't be completely different. It'll just have some more yummy things added to it, I think. And until next time, my beautiful, beautiful friends, I am just so honored and so grateful to have you with me. I will be here next week without fail. We are now fully pretty much set up in this space, so I can certainly keep my schedule online and active for you all. That's great, Melinda. You're so welcome. I like to just see how you guys went with that. So thank you for putting that in the chat. And I am just thrilled with life right now. It's a pretty bloody amazing thing. And for those of you who are feeling like I don't know how I can carry on, for those of you who are feeling discouraged or, you know, really super tired and all of that sort of stuff, I hope that that particular little healing today, that nice little meditation, helped to ease some of that for you, to bring you some lightness and joy into your world. And I really, really am so honored that you would choose to spend a section of your night with me and us tonight. Thank you so much for being with us. So until I see you next week, because Tasty Tuesdays is still on hiatus at the moment, just with everything going on. It's just a little bit too hard for me to manage right now. See, I require some water. I will see you next Friday, and until then, I hope you have the most amazing weekend. Get out there, do something tasty for yourself, and until I see you next time, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends. Subscribe or whatever you're supposed to do and say at this time. I adore you and thank you. I'll see you soon. Bye.